The OldPreMeds podcast, session number 203. You're a non-traditional student entering the medical field on your terms. You may have had some hiccups along the way, but now you're ready to change course and go back and serve others as a physician. This podcast is here to help answer your questions and help educate you on your non-traditional journey to becoming a physician. Now, welcome to the OldPreMeds podcast. My name is Dr. Ryan Gray, your host here every week, where I have the privilege of coming on here and answering your questions that you post in the non-traditional pre-med forum over at premedforums.com. If you haven't done so, go create an account, ask your question, and hopefully it'll show up here on the podcast. Today we have an interesting question all about politics and social media. Our guest today says, "Hello, OldPreMeds. I was just curious as to whether you know or think that medical schools look at your social media accounts. I don't feel like I have anything to hide, but I do have some rather strong political views and do share posts or comment on posts with my opinion. Is that something I should be more cautious about?" All right, short and sweet question. Here's a short and sweet answer. Medical schools are super busy when they are looking at applications, and more likely than not, they're not taking the time to look at your stuff. With that said, they easily can look at your stuff and may, on occasion, look at your stuff. There are even most likely, very probably tools that the schools can use that will try to automatically pull in social media accounts for applicants. If that is not a thing, it should be, but I'm pretty sure it is a thing, to where they can automatically go out and scrape and say, "Hey, is this the person that is applying to your school? I think this may be them." And they have that ability potentially to look at your stuff. So, as the wise person once said, if you don't want your grandmother reading what you wrote, don't put it on the internet. Strong political views, strong views one way or another, right or left, should or shouldn't hurt you, right? It shouldn't hurt you in your application. Your political views are your political views. Where it comes to potentially hurt you is lacking any sort of empathy for the other side. And this is the same thing that comes up in interviews as well. If you're asked a question about abortion or physician-assisted suicide or whatever it may be, if you have zero empathy for the other side, that is where you get in trouble. So if your posts are strongly political and they're attacking, then there's a problem. If they're strongly political, but they are not inflammatory, they just are a point of view, even if it may be pointed or strong, then you should be okay. Now, a lot of students, and I don't really like this game, but I'll mention it, a lot of students play the game of, I'm going to change my name on social media during the application process. I'm going to change my name from my real name or some semblance of my real name and just change my profile name, right? It's kind of hard to change usernames. I know Instagram lets you do that. Twitter does as well. Facebook is really hard to do. That kind of stuff. But a lot of students will either make their stuff private for the application process or do something to make sure they lock down their social media accounts during the application process. You can do that, but in my mind, you shouldn't be posting that kind of stuff to begin with. If you're hiding your profiles and your social media posts, then you should probably do some reflection as to why you're hiding in the first place. Do you have some anonymity kind of creep? You're a keyboard warrior and can go out and scream at everybody because it's online and it doesn't count. But obviously you know it counts because you're going and hiding your stuff anyway. So think about that. If you are out there thinking that you need to go hide your accounts, then you probably should have a little conversation with yourself about changing your tone on the internet. What lives there forever. Even if you think you deleted it, it's probably still out there. So be careful with your online presence in medical school and beyond. You can read almost every day in this country where people are losing their jobs. It just happened today, losing their jobs because of something they posted on social media. Now, depending on your political point of view, some of you may think our president should lose his job because of what he posts on the internet. But that's neither here nor there. A football player just lost his job because after the game, he went on a attacking tirade on Twitter. A very not very good attack about other people on Twitter, and he lost his job. Social media is not a safe place for you to go and talk about anything and anyone. Anything you put out there can come back to hurt you. So as you are going through the pre-med process through medical school and into the future, way into the future as an attending, behave. That's all I got to say. I hope you have a great week. We'll see you next time here on the OldPreMeds podcast.
This is MedEd Media.